Hello, hi. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new live stream. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new live stream. How's it going? I hope everything is great. Yesterday, I wasn't able to live stream, but today I'm ready. I'm here. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the common, very, very common phrase, a mí me. A mí me, and we're going to learn more about that. We're going to learn the meaning, how to use it, and also other similar phrases, very similar phrases. So before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell icon so you can get notified every time I live stream. I want to give a big shout out to our Cafecito members, Michael Chandler, Tom Siebold, Ralph Marquez, Brianna Lee, Ruby Brockenberry, Christopher Michael, William Lopez, David Beaver, S.C. Gregory Ramirez, Michael Lee. Thank you guys for the support. I appreciate it a lot. El cafecito está súper delicioso. Muchas gracias por el apoyo. Thank you so much for the support. If you want to become a member, you can also do that. So you can click on the join button down below. Essentially, it's just a monthly membership, and it's less than $3, I believe. So it's very cheap. You get some perks when getting it as well. So if you want to read about it, please just click on the join button down below. Thank you again, Cafecito members. Okay, excellent. Remember that I'm live streaming, so you can use the live chat to ask questions, to say hola. And the only thing you gotta do, you have to be a subscriber. So just click on that subscribe button. It's free, so you will be able to use the live chat. Hello, KS. Welcome. Bienvenido. Okay, so let's get started. Let's do it. So today's Spanish lesson is about the phrase, as I said before, the phrase a mí me. There isn't a translation. There's some translation, of course. I'll let you know what it means, but there isn't a direct translation. So, which makes it a bit challenging to learn, but don't worry. I'm here to explain everything about it. Okay, so a mí me and more. So what does a mí me means? What does it mean? A mí me is, it's very simple, really. It's nothing complicated. A mí me ... By the way, it's an incomplete phrase. You have to add more to it to use it, but pretty common. It's pretty common. A mí me is similar to saying I. Just I. It's a different way to say yo. Yo in Spanish means I, of course. But in every language we have, in every language there is like different ways to say the same thing. So Spanish is not the exception. If you want to say yo, I, that's fine. But sometimes you will hear a mí me. And sometimes you have to use me instead of yo, okay? So it's good to learn these things, these little phrases, because it will help you understand Spanish better, and you can obviously use it in Spanish. A mí me means I, but it's an incomplete I. You need to add more to it. Yo is, it could be used by itself, and also to, to add more. You can add more to yo. Yo como rápido. I eat fast. Okay? Whereas a mí me, if you don't say anything after it, it's like, a mí me what? Right? A mí me what? Okay. So now that we know the meaning, let's see some examples. Okay. A mí me gusta. You probably, if you're familiar with Spanish, you probably know that a mí me works really well with the verb gustar, which means to like. So a very common thing to say in Spanish as well is a mí me gusta. But there's also other verbs that you can use with a mí me, okay? So let's look at this example. A mí me gusta viajar. A mí me gusta viajar. We have two verbs, gusta and viajar, okay? So this means I like to travel or I like traveling. Same thing. I like to travel, I like traveling. A mí me gusta viajar, okay? So essentially, right here, if we break this down, we're saying a mí me, I, gusta, well, a mí me is I, sorry. Gusta, like, viajar, to travel or traveling, okay? So very simple, you have a mí me, and then you add a verb, and then you can add another verb. So this verb is in an infinitive form, viajar, which means my arrows are always terrible, so get used to it. Viajar means to travel. It is in an infinitive form, so you don't have to conjugate it. Just you leave the verb as is. And this one is conjugated in this way. A mí me gusta. So essentially you just remove the R from the verb, okay? So that's supposed to be an R. But yeah, so gustar means to like. If you want to use gustar with a mí me, then remove the letter R, and then you have a conjugation there. And you're saying, a mí me gusta. I like, ... viajar, traveling. Okay? So very simple, not complicated. A mí me means I like, no, I, and then if you add gusta, means I like. Okay? And then you can add, whatever other verb you want. I mean, if you like reading, you can say, a mí me gusta leer. Okay? I like to read or reading. Okay? Same thing. A mí me gusta leer. A mí me gusta correr. I like to run, or I like running. Okay? So very simple. That's the formula right there. A mí me gusta, and then you add whatever verb you want. So that's one important thing for sure. Let's look at another example. By the way, remember the accent mark on top of the letter I, because me means me. Like, it sounds confusing, but me, this is in Spanish. Well, I don't think you can see it. Hang on a second. Okay. This one right here, me means me. Okay? Right here. Me means me. If you remove the accent mark, then means my. Okay? So if you like to have good grammar, I suggest not forgetting the accent mark on top of the letter I. Okay? Perfect. Now, very common to say a mí me gusta, right? But you can use different verbs with a mí me. Okay? A mí me. So you can say, oh, by the way, before I forget, sorry. There's a short form to say the same thing here. So when you say a mí me, it's like emphasizing that you know, you or I in this case. A mí me, and then that's like emphasizing I. But you sometimes will hear just this part here. Me gusta correr. Without the a mí part. Okay? And that's also correct. So there's two different ways to say it. A mí me gusta correr or me gusta correr. Okay, so it's up to you what you want to use, of course. Both versions are correct, but people use a mí a lot because they're emphasizing that, you know, in this situation, I like to run. Okay, or me in this situation because me means me. Okay, anyways, let's move on. Let's look at the second example. A mí me disgusta viajar. A mí me disgusta viajar. Before we had here viajar. Me gusta viajar. A mí me gusta viajar, and it means I like to travel or traveling, right? Now, you can use a mí me to say that you don't like something as well if you use the verb disgustar. Disgustar, this verb right here, this verb here means to dislike. Disgustar. Once again, just like we did with gustar, we just removed the letter R from the verb, and then you can add a mí me before, and there you have it. You have a conjugated verb for the phrase a mí me, or the personal pronoun I, right? So, a mí me disgusta viajar. You know what viajar means? Viajar means to travel. So let's just reveal the translation. I dislike traveling. That's what this phrase means. So just keep in mind that you can use a mí me to say that you like things or you dislike things. Okay? So you have a choice. You have more than one choice. You have many choices. A mí me works with many different verbs other than gustar. So it's very good to know that, so you know how to use a mí me. A mí me. It sounds like I'm saying one word, but it's actually three. A mí me. A mí me gusta viajar. A mí me disgusta viajar. Okay? It's like I'm saying anime, but it's not anime. I'm saying a mí me. Okay? So that's good to know. That's definitely good to know. You have two options there. Now, I know that the title says and more. So the more part is when you want to say, for example, you like traveling or he likes traveling, using this kind of phrase. A mí me is just I, okay? But how about you like traveling? Do you like traveling? Okay? So you can even use it to ask questions as well. So in this situation, a mí me means, or right now we're learning a mí me, and it means I. Now let's learn the next one. How would you say you like traveling using the a mí me formula? Well, you need this. A ti te. A ti te. That sounds very cute, I would say. When you say a mí me, a ti te. Okay, it sounds kind of cute. I don't know. You don't need an accent mark there. You don't need any accent marks here. A ti te means, oops, a ti te means, not that, it means you, just you. It's similar to saying tú, but in a more complex way, okay? A ti te. And sometimes you actually need to use this for certain verbs that work in that way. But usually you don't have to worry about, oh my God, should I use this or tú? So don't get overwhelmed. Just let's learn this, okay? A ti te means you. It's similar to saying you. For example, a ti te molesta Miguel. A ti te molesta Miguel. Okay. This means, does Miguel bother you, or is Miguel bothering you? Okay. A ti te molesta Miguel. So yeah, that is a question now. That is a question. It's getting interesting for sure. A ti te molesta. Molesta means bother. Okay. When something is bothering you, molesto. Es molesto. Or, it comes from the verb molestar. Molestar, to bother. When something bothers you, okay? Once again, we just removed the letter R. Did you notice that? My letter R is not an R, but yeah, there you go. Molestar, to bother. If you want to use it with a ti te, then you need to remove the letter R. A ti te molesta Miguel. Okay, and this is present tense. We're just talking about present tense here. So when you say a ti te, it's like you're saying you in this situation. Molesta, bother. Okay, and because in English, when you ask questions, you have, is he bothering you? Does Miguel bother you? And so on. So in Spanish, we don't have that. So essentially, you're saying, you, a ti te molesta, bother, and then Miguel. Miguel is just Miguel. Miguel is just the name, just the first name. Okay, so you can use a ti te to ask questions. Sorry about that. And you only have to add the question marks, the upside down one, and then the normal question mark. And that's a question. A ti te molesta Miguel? Okay. Without the question marks, you will be saying that Miguel bothers you. A ti te molesta Miguel. Miguel bothers you. Okay. So that's some important thing to notice here. And to learn, for sure. Now, just as I said when using a mí, me, you can also not say this part. A ti. You can leave it out if you want. You can say te molesta Miguel. Te molesta Miguel. This one is essential, okay? You need to have it. But a ti is optional. You can have it or not. It's up to you. Now, the next example, guys. The next example is: a ti te encanta salir a comer. A ti te encanta salir a comer. Okay? What does this mean? This means you love or you like going out to eat. Okay? You're not asking questions here. You're saying that you love going out to eat. Okay? If we add the question marks, then it will be like saying, do you like going out to eat? ¿A ti te encanta salir a comer? Okay, so that's if you're asking. If you're just saying this, you're saying you love going out to eat. Okay, so very simple, very interesting for sure. A ti te, you, okay, very simple. Encanta comes from the verb encantar, which means to love, to like, okay? It's similar to gustar, but it's a bit more intense. You're loving it. Similar to liking or loving, okay? To do something specifically. And once again, we just removed the letter R, encantar, to like, to love. Without the R, then you can use it with the phrase a ti te. A ti te encanta. And then we added another verb, salir. Salir means going out, okay? Or to go out. So when I say a ti te encanta, that means you love salir, going out. And when you add the letter a, salir a, you are adding more to the phrase. Because if you say, a ti te encanta salir, that means you love going out. But we want to say to do something, right? What specifically? What do you like doing out when you go out? So keep in mind that if you want to add more to the sentence, then you need the a when using salir. The letter a when using salir. Salir a. ... Salir a, going out to, and then comer, eat. Okay, so going out to, salir a, comer, eat. Excellent. So that's pretty good. And once again, you can say, you can leave out at ti, sorry. Yeah, so you can just not have it. And you can just say, te encanta salir a comer. And that's also good. But yeah, some people say this as well. You know, a ti te encanta salir a comer. You love going out to eat. Okay, they use the whole phrase, and that's perfectly normal, common. Or they just say te encanta salir. So essentially, te is very important to have. You can't leave it out. This word here, te. So just remember that, guys. You need it here and you need it here if you want to say this and this. Oh my God, my underline terrible as well. Anyways, my arrows are terrible. My underlining is terrible. That's the way it is. Anyways, let's move on. Now, how about saying he likes doing something, she likes doing something, or you, formal, polite. You know, in Spanish we have formal, you, informal, you. But how do you say that? How do you say that? Instead of using él, ella, usted, of course. So if you want to say that, guys, you need a él or a ella or a usted le ... Oh my God, it barely fits on the screen. Okay, here you have it. A él, le. Okay, first let me show you here. A él, le means he. Okay, so I think I have the meaning. Let me just show you the meaning here. Okay, so if you want to say he, then you need to say a él, le. Okay, if you want to say she, you need a ella. A ella le. Okay? So not él, ella. A ella le, she. Or if you want to say you, polite, formal, then you need a usted le. Okay, so this is very important, le, right here. Very important. We're not saying él, ella, usted only. We're saying a él, le, a ella, le, a usted, le, dot, dot, dot. So a common thing to do in Spanish. And let me show you some examples so you know how this works. Okay. A él le interesa conocer gente. A él le interesa conocer gente. This means he is interested in meeting people. Okay? A él le interesa conocer gente. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. Let's break this down and let's see how this works. A él le, you know what this means? He, okay? Interesa comes from the verb interesar. Once again, we removed the letter R, interesar. We don't need the letter R when using this phrase, a él le interesa. So it's similar to saying he is interested in, okay? Interesar, to be interested in. Okay, that's what this means. Conocer, we have a second verb here. It's not conjugated. We're using the infinitive form. And when you add gente, conocer gente, that means meeting people. Okay? Conocer means to know, to meet. But when you have the phrase conocer gente, it means to meet people or meeting people. Okay? That's what it means. Muy interesante, I would say. Very interesting. So yeah, it's the same formula. You remove the letter R from the first verb, and then you keep the second one in an infinitive form. And then we have a noun here, which, I mean, as I said before, conocer gente is like a phrase by itself, and it means just meeting people, to meet people. So nothing too complicated. You can also say le interesa, le interesa conocer gente, okay? You can leave a él out. You don't need it, but sometimes people use it. So it's all good. Le interesa conocer gente. He's interested in meeting people. Okay? Now, the second example, I have 3 examples here. So the second example is a ella le cuesta trabajo salir. A ella le cuesta trabajo salir. Cuesta trabajo is a very good verb. It's a phrase, but it's a verb as well. It goes together really well. Cuesta trabajo, both words, go well, go together really well. Oh my goodness. Okay, a ella le cuesta trabajo salir means it's hard for her to get out or to go out in general. Like some people like staying home. Some people like to go out all the time. In this situation, it looks like she likes to stay home. She doesn't like to go out often. So, a ella le. It's very interesting because, as I said before, this whole a mí me, a ti te, a él, a ella le doesn't have a specific translation, but it's similar to saying he, she, you, whatever. A mí me, I like, sorry, not I like, I, a él, le, he. In this situation, it means her. You know, we're talking about her. We're not saying she. We're saying her because that's how English works, right? So, cuesta trabajo. This is the verb, right? Costar. Costar means, in this situation, costar trabajo means when something is hard to do, okay? When something takes some effort to do, it's hard, okay? So this is a very good phrase / verb to use. So we, in this situation, costar is different, you know, when conjugated, this verb for this phrase, because right here I told you, hey, just remove the letter R and that's fine. Usually that's the case, but sometimes there's some verbs like costar that you need to, it's irregular, so you cannot just remove only the letter R. You need to know that you have to say cuesta, okay? So cuesta. Cuesta trabajo. A ella le cuesta trabajo. It's hard for her to do something. What is it? Salir. To get out or just to go out. This is what it means. Salir. Interesting. Interesting. And as you can see here, salir is in an infinitive form again. So usually you have the phrase a él le, a ella le, a usted le. Then you have the verb conjugated. And if you add another verb, then it has to be the second verb in an infinitive way. So, or form. It means that you don't conjugate it. Okay, excellent. Let me know if you have any questions, guys, because I know this can be a little tricky. It's all good. You can ask questions. Okay. The next example is a question. ¿A usted le gustaría un café? ¿A usted le gustaría un café? Okay. This means, would you like a coffee? We have something different here besides the question. Okay. We have something different. The verb that we're using, gustar, is in a different tense. We are using the, what's the name of it? The name of the tense is conditional. Yeah, I completely forgot that for a second. But we're using not present tense. We've been using present tense. When you remove the letter R, you are using present tense. But also, you know, we have different tenses. So, gustaría un café. Gustaría is a conditional conjugation. So, let's break this down. A usted le is similar to saying, would you ... A usted le gustaría, gustaría, and technically gustaría is would like, right? And a usted le is just you. Just to be specific. And then a café. Coffee. Okay. ¿A usted le gustaría un café? Would you like a coffee? A cup of coffee? Similar to saying that. And a very common question. If you have somebody over at your place, you know, someone stopped by and said, you know, let's talk, let's let's spend time together, let's hang out, and you want to say, would you like a cup of coffee? Would you like some coffee? You can use this, but this is formal because we're using usted. Usted. A usted le gustaría un café. This is you formal. Usted. Singular as well. So let's remember that. Let me tell you, lastly, for this phrase, let me tell you that, again, you can just not use this, nor this, nor this. So you can just use le interesa conocer gente, le cuesta trabajo salir, le gustaría un café, and that's fine. It also works. But if you want to be more specific, especially with this phrase, because you have le for 3 different kind of pronouns, then you can say a él le, a ella le, a usted le. Okay? So that's something important to notice for sure. Okay, let's learn the next phrase, guys. Let's see what we have. A nosotros nos. A nosotros nos. A nosotros nos. This means we. So if you want to say we like traveling, a nosotros nos gusta viajar. Common thing to say in Spanish. So a nosotros, the whole thing means we. I know. We have nosotros, which means we, but also you can use this in some situations. A nosotros nos. Okay? Now, let's look at some examples. A nosotros nos gusta trabajar juntos. A nosotros nos gusta trabajar juntos. This means we like to work together. Okay? A nosotros nos gusta trabajar juntos. And in this situation, you need to use a nosotros nos. If you say nosotros gusta trabajar juntos, that makes no sense. So in this situation, when you're talking about what you like, about what you hate, usually you need this phrase, this kind of phrase. A mí me gusta comer. I like eating. A nosotros nos gusta viajar. We like traveling, okay? Or the opposite, as I said at the beginning of the lesson, a nosotros nos disgusta viajar. We dislike traveling, okay? So not only for I like this, we like this, it's also for other things that you, dislike, you love, and so on. Okay, so let's break this down, guys. A nosotros nos, we, we, gusta, like, okay? Once again, present tense. If we're talking about present tense, you just remove the letter R. And that means a nosotros nos gusta means we like to trabajar. We like to work, okay? We like to work. A nosotros nos gusta trabajar. And you can add more, of course. Juntos means together. Juntos, together. A nosotros nos gusta trabajar juntos. We like to work together. This sentence means that. Once again, you can, not use this part if you don't want to emphasize it. And you can say, nos gusta trabajar juntos. We like to work together. Same thing. But if you want to emphasize we, then you can say a nosotros nos gusta trabajar juntos. We like to work together. Same thing. Now let's look at the second example. A nosotros nos distrae el ruido. A nosotros nos distrae el ruido. This means we are distracted by noise or the noise, if it's a specific noise. Okay? So, a nosotros nos distrae el ruido. Now, we have again, a nosotros nos. A nosotros nos. We. Distrae, to be distracted in the situation. Okay? That's what distraer means. Distraer. It looks like a V, but it's actually the letter R. Distraer means to be distracted or to distract. It depends how you use it. But in this situation, it means to be distracted, and it's also present tense. We are distracted. A nosotros nos distrae. We are distracted. El ruido, we don't need by in Spanish. I mean, there's not like, if we're using distraer, we don't need any, preposition or any other extra word. Just like, in English, it's necessary to say to be distracted by. In Spanish, we don't need that. In that situation, we don't need any other word. You can just use the verb distraer, distrae, and then in this situation, the definite article, el, okay? That means the. Ruido means noise. Distrae el ruido. Distrae la canción. Distrae el animal. So it's just, you need a definite article and then the noun. Okay? That's the formula right there. Right there. Yeah. Once again, just to tell you, I'm gonna just say it again. You don't need this. It's very common that people don't say it, but also it's very common that people say the whole phrase. So you can say, nos distrae el ruido. We are distracted by the noise, okay? Or nos gusta trabajar juntos. We like to work together. Okay? So that's something that it's good to know. Or you can say the whole thing, right? If you want to emphasize we in this situation. We. A nosotros nos. Remember, it means we. Now, let's move on, guys. We have 3 more. We learned a mí, me, a ti, te, a él, ella, usted, le. Okay? And a nosotros, nos. Right? A nosotros, nos. Now, the next one, guys, is... We're almost done. We have, 3 more. Okay. A nosotros. No, not a nosotros. A vosotros. A vosotros os. A vosotros os. This means you, but plural. You're talking to a group of people. Okay? A vosotros os. This is commonly used in Spain. Spain only. Just Spain. So if you're learning, if you want to learn, vosotros, or if you're learning about vosotros and all the conjugation for vosotros, then you need to know this. It's good to know this. And this means you. For example, I can say, ¿A vosotros os invitaron a la fiesta? ¿A vosotros os invitaron a la fiesta? Okay. And this means, were you invited to the party? Once again, you can just add the question marks and you're asking something. If you don't have the question marks, then you're saying, a vosotros os invitaron a la fiesta. That means you were invited to the party. Okay? We're also using past tense, invitaron. Okay? Invitaron. So usually when using this formula, a vosotros, os, and then the verb, you need to just add on if you're using past tense. If it's present tense, you remove the letter R from the verb. Invitar, invita. Okay? In this situation, it's present tense, past tense, so you just add the O and letters. These letters here. Oops. On. Invitaron. Okay? So, a vosotros os, you, invitaron, were invited. Okay, that's what it means. A, to, la, the, fiesta, party. Okay, la fiesta, the party. ¿A vosotros os invitaron a la fiesta? Were you invited to the party? Who knows, right? Who knows? Of course, you can remove a vosotros and just leave os invitaron a la fiesta. And it means the same thing. So, yeah. That's one way to say it. Now you know too. ¿A vosotros os invitaron a la fiesta? ¿Os invitaron a la fiesta? That's good to know for sure. Now, the next example, guys, is ¿a vosotros os espera una sorpresa? ¿A vosotros os espera una sorpresa? This means a surprise awaits you. This is what it means, and interesting, very interesting. A vosotros os, this whole thing, oops, that line was quite thick. A vosotros os, you. Espera means to wait, or to await in this situation, awaits. Okay? And this is present tense, so the only thing we did here, we just removed the letter R. Okay? A vosotros os espera. And then una means a sorpresa, surprise. Okay? Surprise. You can even you can say sorpresa, you know, when you have a surprise party, people yell surprise, right? In Spanish, you can say sorpresa. So that's something really interesting to know for sure. I mean, if you like doing that, you know, if you like having surprise parties or host surprise parties and whatnot, but yeah, it's quite interesting. A vosotros os espera una sorpresa. A surprise awaits you. Okay? And yeah, you can also remove a vosotros here. And you can just say, os espera una sorpresa. Okay? A surprise awaits you. Excellent. So very, very good. Very good. Don't forget about vosotros if you're interested in learning about vosotros, right? This is a must phrase. A vosotros os. Okay. Now, the next one, guys. The next one is a ustedes, les. dot, dot, dot. A ustedes les. So this is similar to a vosotros os, but this one is used in Latin America, okay? All Latin America. A ustedes les. It means, yeah, you as well. I'm just trying to think if in Argentina they use this, because I know they have el voceo, but yeah, I mean, it's commonly used in Latin America. Okay, a ustedes les. A ustedes les. Now, let's see some examples. A ustedes les gusta las papas. A ustedes les gusta las papas. This means you like potatoes. Very simple, very simple. Very interesting too, because we have this phrase here. A ustedes les. You, just you. I was gonna say gusta, but I mean like, but no. Gusta means like. Okay, once again, we just remove the letter R if we're doing present tense. So, a ustedes les gusta means you like. And once again, guys, we're talking about a group of people, not only you, one person. It's a group of people, more than one. Las papas, potatoes. Okay? So, a ustedes les gusta las papas. Very good, very important to have the definite article here, especially when using gustar. Okay, you have the definite article las, plural, and then you have papas, which means it's a noun and it means potatoes. Okay, a ustedes les gusta las papas. You like potatoes. Okay. Now the next one, the next example. Oops, wrong layer. Wrong layer. A ustedes les pasó lo mismo. A ustedes les pasó lo mismo. This means, did the same happen to you, guys? You know, group of people. We're talking about a group of people. So let's break this down. A ustedes les, you know what this means. A ustedes les, you. Or in this situation, oh yeah, it's just you. Pasó, by the way. Pasó, perfect tense. And this means did happen to. Okay, did happen to. A ustedes les pasó lo mismo. Lo mismo is a phrase that means the same. Okay, the same. And it's a question. So once again, it can be, you can use this phrase in questions or just, you know, regular sentences, statements and whatnot. So very interesting. The only difference is just the question marks here. Okay, so same structure, you just need to add the question marks. Okay, a ustedes les pasó lo mismo. Did the same happen to you? That's what this phrase means. This sentence means. Now, you can remove a ustedes and right here as well, a ustedes. Okay, and you can say les gusta las papas. You like potatoes. Or les pasó lo mismo. Did the same happen to you? Okay, so very good to know this. It's, I mean, it makes Spanish easier because sometimes it's like, why are we using les? Why are we using os? Why are we using me? Right? So now you know why you have les here. Les. This is important to have. This is optional. Okay? But either way works fine. Either way is common. So it's up to you what you want to say. Which one you want to say. Okay. Now we have the last one, guys. The last one. The last one is a ellos, a ellas, les. A ellos, les, a ellas, les. Okay? Ellos masculine, ellas feminine. So this means they. Just they, ... Remember, you need to add more to these phrases. You cannot, we talked about a mí, me, and so on. So a ti, te, ... So that means when I have the ... is because you need something else. Otherwise, the sentence, the phrase is incomplete. Okay, so how do you use this? How do you use a ellos les, a ellas les? Let's see. A ellas les provoca comer helado. A ellas les provoca comer helado. This means they feel like eating ice cream, or they want to eat ice cream, okay? A ellas les provoca comer helado. Let's break this down. A ellas les, they, feminine they, ellas is feminine. Provoca is a very very interesting verb, very good versatile verb. That it means in this situation when you feel like something, you feel like eating something, you feel like watching something. A ellas les provoca. Also provocar, well, this comes from the verb provocar, and it means to provoke. Okay, so it's very similar to that verb as well. But in this situation, when you say this, it means that you feel like. So provocar means to feel like. And once again, what we did here, we just removed the letter R from the verb provocar. Okay, and of course, if you want to use a ellas les, you need to conjugate the verb that you're gonna use for that sentence, for that phrase, and provocar needs to be provoca if it's present tense. And also, well, if you have a second verb, leave it in an infinitive form. Okay, a ellas les provoca comer. They feel like eating. Okay, helado, ice cream. This whole phrase comer helado means to eat ice cream. Okay, so you don't need to say el helado, you just need to have helado, comer helado. Okay, to eat ice cream, eating ice cream. Now this verb here, sometimes let me tell you another similar verb. Antojar. Antojar, same thing, but remember we need to conjugate it for this phrase. So a ellas les se les, this is different. Se les antoja comer helado. When using antojar, you need se right here. Okay, se les antoja. A mí se me antoja. A nosotros se nos antoja. Okay, so se antoja works like that. So you have a ellas, then se, and then les, and then antoja. Okay, but if you use the verb provocar, then you only need se les provoca. A ellas, sorry, not se, just provoca. A ellas les provoca comer helado. And in Spain, you use a specific verb, apetecer. A ellas se les apetece. Or apetece, okay? With the accent from Spain. Okay. A ellas les apetece comer helado. Okay, so that's in Spain. Same thing. They feel like eating ice cream. Okay, so now you know 3 different ways to say feel like. But let's have provocar. Oh, provoca, sorry. I just needed to remove the letter R if we're using present tense. Okay. Now let's look at another example, the last example, guys, and that's going to be it. A ellos les dieron boletos gratis. A ellos les dieron boletos gratis. Well, that's good news for sure. And it means they gave you free tickets. Okay? So, let's break this down. A ellos les, in this situation, a ellos les dieron boletos gratis. It's not they gave you, sorry. They got free tickets because they got the tickets, right? Not you. So a ellos les, they dieron, past tense, and it means got when you got something, or also, let me add here, it comes from the verb dar, dieron, means to give. But when you get something, you receive something, you can also use, dar, right? So who knows who gave them the free tickets, right? So it's similar to saying got in this situation. Someone did. So a ellos les dieron, they got, okay? Boletos means tickets, and gratis means free. Boletos gratis. Remember, in Spanish, it's very common to have the noun first and then the adjective after. In English, you have the adjective and then the noun, so it's the other way around. But in some situations in Spanish, it's okay to have adjective, noun, just as in English. But in some situations, I would say there are exceptions. But usually you have the noun and then the adjective in Spanish. A ellos les dieron boletos gratis. They got free tickets. Someone gave them free tickets. That's what this means. So once again, you can remove a ellas and a ellos, and you can just say les provoca comer helado. Les dieron boletos gratis. But once again, if you want to be specific, then you need a ellas, a ellos. Specifically when you have, feminine and masculine, I mean, it's good to be specific. But if you already are talking about them, feminine or masculine, and people already know who they are, then you can just say les provoca comer helado, les dieron boletos gratis. Okay? That's it. Do you guys have any questions? Do you have any questions? Very interesting. Today we learned about a mí me, which means I. A ti te, which means you, singular and informal. A él, le, a ella, le, a usted, le. That means he, she, you, singular and formal. A nosotros, nos, we. A vosotros, os, you, plural and used in Spain. A ustedes, les, you, plural and used in Latin America. And a ellos, les, a ellas, les, they. Okay? So, very, very interesting. Very good. This is like more advanced Spanish, but I'm trying to keep it simple, not complicated. And, this channel is called Spanish Made Easy, right? Hi, Lindsay. A mí me gusta aprender español juntos todas las semanas. Excellent. Great example. Perfect. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Lindsay. Great comment and perfect grammar. So that's awesome. Okay, guys, remember that I live stream usually every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you don't want to miss out all the live streams, you can click on that verification, the notification icon. It's a bell icon that you can activate. You can use to activate all the notifications, really. You need to make sure of that. After clicking on the bell icon, you need to activate all the options that for notifications, so YouTube tells you every time I live stream. And that's it. I pretty much upload videos every day. And it's just the live streams, really. It's chunks of my live streams. And if you like just refreshing all the information you learn during the live streams, you can check that out. You can watch those videos for sure. I appreciate everyone who's here right now watching the stream. Thank you for watching the whole lesson. That's awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you again. I have a Spanish community on Discord. I'm present there. I need to be more, I need to participate more there, but I'm there. I'm part of that community. I created that community. It's free. It's on Discord. So if you want to check that out, you can find the link in the video description down below. If you like this video, please give it a like. That helps me a lot. And I hope you like this lesson. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Adiós. Hasta luego.